Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk. Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. Bring your body armor.
I ran in my jungle once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hey, welcome everybody to The Session, your favorite podcast. Don't be afraid to say that. Don't be afraid to shout it from the rooftops or the back of your friend's, twin bike, whatever you want to say, wherever you want to shout it. The Brewing Network's The Session is your favorite podcast.
We won't be able to shout it from Burning Man, but everybody else that would normally be on this podcast can shout it.
That's right. Well, they'll probably mumble it.
Yeah.
For Burning Man because
what is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Today's show is an interesting show. Before we get to that, though, I'll leave you with that nugget, and we'll move on to our sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. I was talking with Olin a little bit. I had lunch with the dude a couple weeks ago over at EJ Fair there in Pittsburgh. Because I'm now closer to Pittsburgh than I am to than I was before. Yeah, I moved out to Oakley, where apparently it's like 106 today.
Yeah, it's always about 3 degrees warmer than here. It was 103 here. So.
It was pretty bad, man. But we're talking about a lot of the new stuff that's going on at More Beer. So starting September, we're going to be doing a little more live reads for them, promoting their stuff a little bit more as far as what they have in. We kind of talk in generalities about More Beer, which is fine. But I'm like, look, you guys need to start. You have a lot of shit going on, and I didn't really understand how much stuff they have.
Oh yeah.
Until I saw their booth at NHC, and I spent 25 minutes looking at all the new stuff.
A lot of new fermenters.
Yeah, all sorts of crap, man. So good on those guys.
It's a good time to be a home brewer, and it's a good time to have More Beer as your supplier, for sure.
It really is, man. I mean, there's shit I've never even heard of going on. And
everything's
really
getting
cool.
much cheaper. All the gadgets, a lot of electronics are getting more, affordable. So it's great.
Yeah, and, I thought a few years ago, where are we going as home brewing? You know what I mean? Like, what gadgets could there possibly be?
Left?
You know what I mean? Just to mess with the processes, right? Like, to maybe, carbonate and ferment at the same time or whatever. They got that shit. They got all sorts of stuff.
There's a lot more in the area of automating the process or making it easier. For sure.
But they got new fermenters, and stainless is cheaper, and so there's a lot of new stainless gadgets, and everyone has an idea for a gadget, and I tell you what, More Beer has them, so check it out if you want a little sneak of what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm excited to hear a little bit more Beer stuff, and maybe we can dig this. This is my idea for a show. You know, we've had Chris Graham on.
Oh, he's always gold.
Who's like the king of brewing on the cheap.
It's fun to be around, too.
I want him to come on and talk about brewing expensively.
The other way.
Yeah, like let's say you had $1,000 and you wanted to get into homebrew. Yeah, what's the top end
That's
that
good
you
to know,
could do?
because you may want to start saving money or like planning your wife's death or something, you know? Like buy more. How much insurance do you actually need to buy? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I only need a $1,500 policy. It's fine. Yeah. Whatever, right? Yeah. I think that'd be kind of a hoot.
Sure.
Kind of hoot on that subject for a little bit.
Good to know.
Yeah, whatever.
How much could you spend? That way you're armed, right? You can say, like, well, I could be spending $5,000.
Right.
I'm only spending $1,200.
So back off, ho.
Yeah.
Make me a sandwich. Yeah. Or I'll make you a sandwich.
That's right.
That way you can eat and not talk to me about my shit. Yeah, I mean, you can buy, of course, the brewing sculptures and stuff like that. But, you know, for all the other gadgets that are out there, I think it'd be fun. I don't know. It's only a half-assed idea, but maybe we'll get him back on to do both. Brewing on the cheap and then throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah, maybe a combination of both. Like,
it'll
to interject some money to get more, value. Or something.
Yeah, it'll be brewing on the cheap and then maxing out your credit card. Those are the two sides of the whole thing.
Okay,
I think it'd be good. So today is the 21st Amendment show. However, the illustrious Shaun Sully O'Sullivan has called in with the flu.
Called in sick.
So, and then he did say, but I can call in if you want. He says, I have a bout of the flu, temperature, aches, pains, and other stuff I don't want to share. I love that guy. No, definitely.
I wish he was here, and I know he wishes he was here as well.
Oh, absolutely. No, he was looking forward to this.
I've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, for sure. So, unfortunately, and apparently they have like all their national sales team in, and so Nico can't join us.
Yeah, they're occupied with that.
Yeah, and nobody can come down from the 2-1A. So tonight's show is going to be a weird one, folks, where I'm calling in Nate. We got a designated hitter coming in. Our good friend Nate Smith is on BART now. He should be here in about 10 minutes or so.
I'll be here after the break, probably.
Yeah, and be excited to see Nate and chat about what he's been up to.
He's a good guy. So I love talking to that guy, for sure.
Yeah, no, he's a kick in the pants, man. But really, Tasty, I mean, pretty much it works out in your favor because all we have to talk about is the Tasty IPA.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. The beer that I just made with 21st Amendment.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. And it was released on Saturday, right?
Released on Saturday, and then this is the first, commercial account that it's in, right here at the Hop Grenade tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How's it tasting?
It's tasting really good.
Tasting pretty good?
Yeah, I really like the beer.
Okay.
Really happy with it.
Good.
Yeah.
But are you hoppy with it?
It's hoppy enough. It's hoppy enough.
That was
70
a hop
IBUs.
Pun. Yeah, that was a hop pun.
I think 70 by recipe, it probably tastes like 50 or so. It's good.
Wait, it tastes like a 50?
50 IBUs, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like a 50-point beer, and I was like, wow, you really sold that pretty well.
What is it? If I were to score this beer, I'd probably give it I shouldn't say.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm a pretty low scorer, but I'd give it a 38 maybe or something like that.
38?
Wouldn't be in the 40s, I don't think.
But that's a very good.
Flying Pig's in the 40s. This is good beer. It's a great beer. I couldn't be happier with it.
On the judging scale, 38 is very good.
It is. Yeah. Exactly. That would get you into the best of show, and you might beat out the guy that got a 41.
For sure.
Driving him nuts.
Right. Yeah. He'd be on the phone complaining about your beer.
But that wasn't our goal. Our goal was to make a 6.8% beer.
Okay.
And I just because that works into their product line better in terms of the pricing. I wanted to make a smaller IPA. But and then when we sat down to talk about the beer, it was like, let's just talk about what we're going to do, right? So we said, okay, IPA. I'm like, okay, that's good. We're on the same page there. And I threw out, the ABV. And then he threw out the fact that at the price point, it's got to be more like 6.8. Then we just talked about malt bill and then hop bills. And pretty soon we had an outline for a recipe, and
well, don't open the kimono too far, because then we're not going to have anything to talk about.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll tell you guys all about it. I'll get you the whole process later.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
And actually, when you say the words, I want you to say the each individual letter in each word, just to drag it out.
To make this show.
Yeah. I space BREWED.
So instead of listening to the show in 2x speed, they can go like 50x.
Right. That would be amazing. And really, it's just for them. But yeah, so, Beardy, of course, is at Burning Man. Doc, of course, is at Burning Man. Justin, of course, is at Burning Man. Beverly, of course, is not at Burning Man. She is at her mother's wake or funeral or whatever it is because, her mom had enough of her bullshit and decided to leave. So, it's just the crew here. It's just dudes night.
Those dudes.
But I do have some beer news to get through, some exciting beer news, some challenging beer news, maybe even. And then before that, though, I do have some feedback. And see, here's the hard part. So normally, Bev does a lot of shit behind the scenes. And
you appreciate it any more than you do right now.
Well, right, because she gets me the show logs for the commercials and stuff that we have to do. So now I have to check the thing and then balance it against this other thing, and it's a pain in the butt, man. It's a pain in my butt.
Just take your time. Well, people will bear with us.
It'll be all right.
A little pardon me, I've got to look up, compare this to that, and, decide who the feedback's sponsored by today.
Yeah, well, I'm much better at just talking and figuring it out.
While you're looking, I'd like to tell people now I have a website called tastymcd.com.
Okay.
And there's really nothing there, but except my little bio, and I hate writing bios, so you can go there and read a bad bio about me. But it's got my other links and stuff, and I'll be adding stuff to it. I'll have the recipe for this Tasty IPA there someday.
TastyMcD.com. The site can't be reached.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. No, I misspelled your name.
McD, see there.
Hello. I'm Mike Tasty McDole. Welcome to my website. Wow, that is very
pretty fresh.
like internet 1995.
Hey,
welcome to the internet.
First webpage.
Follow
what would
me.
You expect?
It's new, so there's very little info here, but in the future you can expect to see the usual kind of website items like blog posts, product recommendations, and eventually a store.
What would I sell?
I've been acting... Okay, I'm not going to read your whole profile. You probably should, man.
Anyway, so it tells me about
my good,
Brew.
Man.
It mentions the Brew Network.
That it does, and there's a link.
Parenthetically,
of course, right. But I'm not mentioned there at all, so that's disappointing.
Ooh, you're under that Brew Network umbrella.
Okay, but look, how much?
Start thanking individuals. That would be a long.
How much are links going to be? Because I could use a couple pingbacks to my site. I've thought about doing that too. To be completely honest, and look, we're both entertainers, and and you want a funnel to get everybody into.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it yet. So kudos to you, my friend. Oh, I thought that was Nate for a second.
Nate's coming in, don't worry.
Yeah.
Relax. You're just going to
relax. Oh my God.
Just be awkward.
No, it's fine. I'm excited.
Just run a long break until he gets.
Because I haven't seen that dude in a long time.
I saw a text. He's going to be here soon.
Yeah, he's coming. No, I know. I just, you hear the door open, you get excited. Before we get to feedback, Neshaminy Creek Brewing has been on the Philly beer map since 2012. They just recently took home their 4th Philly Beer Scene Magazine Award for Brewer of the Year. That's 2014, 15, 16, and 17.
Good run.
And the 3rd for Brewery of the Year. 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner. Also bronze for their smoked lager in 2016. They have a large, expanded, and recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating and seasonal and or limited beers, which I personally love. And I think that's how you have to succeed as a brewery these days.
Yeah.
You can't just have your flagships and then that's it.
No, you got to fill out the lineup. That way you're a good tap room.
They have a variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs, which, who cares, to sessionable and poundable lagers, which is what I think everybody should be making, to oak fermented saisons and sour beers, whatever.
Yeah.
NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com. I was emailing Jeremy today, and I was like, hey, dude, I think your run is up. How's everything going? He's like, great.
Yeah.
He goes, let's keep going.
Excellent.
Tons of people come in and mention the Brewing Network, and I was like, of course they do. So you guys, thank you very much for going into Neshaminy Creek and telling Jeremy, whoever staffer there is, that you heard about them on the Brewing Network.
That's great.
Because it definitely helps. That stuff definitely gets back to us, and it makes everybody all around feel good. All right, let's do some feedback, Tasty.
I'm down for that.
All right. Got some good feedback today. First one is from Andre in North Bend, Washington. He says, what up, my networks? Along with about 30,000 other dirt hippies, I witnessed the eclipse at the Oregon Eclipse Festival, a.k.a. Symbiosis, a.k.a. Burning Man North. Mm-hmm. That sounds awful. It was 6 days of art installations, radical free expression, whatever that means, music, and LSD out in the middle of absolutely bumfuck nowhere, Oregon. Sounds like something you might be into.
6 days? No. 2.
Maybe 4 hours.
Yeah. I was in Buckfunk, Illinois, so the same thing.
Okay, well, there you go. Right. Amidst the DeLorean driving across the water and 30-kilowatt sound systems was a craft brewery serving beer to the unwashed masses. North Rim out of Bend, because, of course, you can't go anywhere in Oregon without stumbling across a craft brewery. They were clearly way into the eclipse and the festival. They served a one-off beer called Moon Junkie. They handed out eclipse glasses and themed koozies and all sorts of shit. All this to say, shout out to North Rim for contributing to that amazing, albeit temporary, community. And isn't that what craft beer is all about? Also, I'm writing this so I can listen to JP snicker about the whole thing.
And North Rim is a beer brand? Is that,
North Rim is a brewery, apparently, in Bend, yeah. So,
good.
Yeah, P.S.
Message received.
Right, and apparently Business Insider did a whole thing. He sent a link in case we want to see what that mess looked like. And yeah, it looks like every picture I've seen of like Burning Man, it looks pretty much the same. A lot of like moon boots and stilts and hula hoops. Why are hula hoops such a big thing in like the drug like Burning Man communities? Do you know that, Tasty?
I have no idea. Can you turn it into like a bong or something?
I don't know. Maybe that'd be a hell of a bong, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's Burning Man. It's where you go big,
right? Yeah. Okay, next one is from Zeb, who apparently is known in the forum as Dick Ripper, which I personally appreciate the name. He says, I bought my tickets to the California Craft Beer Festival in Sacramento on September 9th, and I have been greatly anticipating the event. This week, the list of breweries was released, and I went through to find the must-visit places. Naturally, see, it sounds like Zeb here, Dick Ripper, is very, very prepared. He's probably been to GABF once or twice.
A festival, too, yeah.
Yeah, not only his dick, but the festival. Naturally, I wanted to hit the 2017 California Brewery of the Year and taste some of their epic releases.
Oh.
I scanned the list, and no Loma Brewing.
What?
And then all caps, he screams, "What the fuck, Beardy?" God damn it!
He's lost his focus.
Right,
he's a burner.
God damn it! I wanted to try some of your stuff at this festival. Maybe I'll just come by the BN booth and try sucking it out of your beard. Keep up the good work on the BN and at Loma Brewing. Should I ever make it there to taste your beer? Cheers, Dick Ripper. Well, I don't know if he does good work on the BN, but I think he does better work on Loma. At Loma Brewing.
He has more awards, but there's not many awards for what we do.
That's true. Is the BN going to have a booth? I don't even know that.
That's the first I've heard of
it. Me too.
Yeah, and I think you're managing the event for the BN, so I don't think we're having a booth. Just right off the top.
No, we're not going to have a booth. But Zeb, dude, Loma is like, 2 hours maybe from Sacramento? Just drive down, dude. You'll be good. We actually are going to be giving away 2 tickets to that festival on September 9th tonight on the show.
How do you win? I mean, what do you do?
Well, as we talked about last show, I made a... Oh, you weren't here.
No.
You weren't here. That's right. You were chasing Totality.
I was chasing Totality.
Right.
I found it, too.
Good. Thank God. I made a Google spreadsheet, a Google Doc, and basically had you fill out your name and your email, and if you could go or not.
And then it was a random selection?
And it was a random selection.
Cool.
Yeah. So I got the winner, and we'll release that in a little bit.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. It's coming up. It's like a week from this weekend.
Yeah. September 9th, man. We're getting there. Jeremiah writes in. He says, "Suck it, JP." Then he goes on to say, Sonoma County Homebrewers Competition sign-up is open for the October 7th event. It's huge and put on by 101 North Brewing. It is the premier event for Sonoma County homebrewers. Winners get to brew the recipe with 101 and have it distributed throughout Sonoma County. Also, Taps in Petaluma throws a big release party. Just hoping to get the word out to you all at the Brewing Network. This is a super fun event with great food, games, and, of course, beer. This year it is being held out in front of 101 North Brewing Company on Scott Street in Petaluma. Anyhow, great time with great people. Hope you will make mention of it and maybe come up and see us. Probably not going to happen. Of course, I'll be pouring some beers of my own, including the first winner of this event, Mojo Chocolate Milk Stout.
Ooh.
So that sounds good. Well, thanks, Jeremiah, for letting us promote this event, and I hope everyone signs up. There's no website, but I'm sure you Google Sonoma County Homebrewers competition, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Nate,
if you don't mind.
Here, sit over here, would you mind? And then grab yourself some headphones on your way.
Just sit like
on your way over there.
Yeah, send me a PM to remind me about that event. I'd like to show up, and I might want to enter too. I might come out of retirement.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
there you go.
I think I'm going to have to next year for the Doze Club. They want me to come out. So,
all right, that'd be good. You'd be like Rocky.
Like Rocky. Yeah, like Rocky.
This next one is from Robo. in Queensland, Australia. He says, thanks for all the great shows, especially the August Shell Brewing episode. Although I find the session great and the interviews are interesting. That's your beer, by the way, Nate. That is your loose change, your Kolsch for the Pico pack.
Yeah.
60 shilling. Oh, okay. She called it a Kolsch. So...
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm getting some headphones on. It's very DIY here today. I'm figuring out where all the connectors are and stuff on my way in.
Take your time.
You're doing good. Thanks for the August Shell Brewing episode. Although I find the session great and the interviews are interesting,
but
most tend to follow a very familiar pattern. Usually around mates and business partners starting a brewery, have some good recipes, keeping it local, getting finance, great tap room, etc. And he says, to be fair, brewers setting up a new brewery today take great risks and they have bigger balls than me. The August Shell episode, however, was unique for the BN. Jace Marty gave some really fascinating insight and anecdotes, especially what brewers had to endure around Prohibition and surviving as a family-owned business during the mass amalgamations post-war. Reconditioning the barrels as a story was great. After that interview, I'll put a visit to August Shell Brewing on my bucket list. That was a really rad interview. And I knew as soon as he knew like all of his family history, of course he did. And once I put those two things together, I was like, this is going to be fucking rad. And he kept it real. And I
mean, he's born into the beer thing, but he's just so passionate about it. He's like, you might as well just came from out of the blue. But
he wouldn't have taken on that project of swelling and making all this old cooperage work for the sour project if he wasn't into it.
Yeah, he's really into it. It's just great.
It's a cool place too. I highly recommend. This guy wants to go visit. Everyone should go visit. Second oldest in the country, still going.
Definitely go visit, and when you're there, ask for Jace and just say you heard about him on the Brewing Network. It'll be fine. Anyway, he finishes up and he says, it would be great to hear some yarns from other historic breweries if you can organize the interviews. If you haven't featured these breweries already, you could reach out to Anchor, Yingling, Cooper's in Australia, which is a great family-owned brewery, and still brew the fantastic Cooper's Sparkling Ale. Cheers for all your work. We've obviously talked to Anchor a couple times. Yingling would be cool. Cooper's would be cool too. I mean, fuck, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
But no, those shows are dope as hell, dude. And I really appreciate Jace's time to come out here specifically to do the show.
Yeah, in person. I mean, he could have done that one over the phone, but nope, didn't phone in. Was sitting here right with us. I mean, cool.
He listens to the shows, so he gets it,
right?
You know, and he understands that in studio makes the best guests. And he wants to be here for the magic to happen. So
and we got a chance to have his beer, super fresh too.
Oh my god,
which was really nice.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Beers were excellent.
It was really good, dude. Bart was shitty, huh, Nate?
Well, it was some mechanical failure in the city that delayed all the trains by 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So it took me a little bit extra to get here. Yeah, I heard McDowell's going to be naked, and I just realized it was a cartoon character naked. I almost turned around. But
he should have turned around. I did see that label, and I was like, "There's no way McDowell would have ever done that." If the BN had said, you know what we should do? Take your little cartoon and make it naked, but cover your dick with hops. He would have said, no, there's no way. Right?
Well, I mean,
so if we can get Shaun on the phone,
the cartoon character he's available. You can abuse him all you want.
Oh, shit.
Not me. I would never do those things.
No, of course. Trust me, no one would ever ask.
That's sort of the irony of the whole thing.
You wouldn't lay in a bed of hops, all American Beauty style.
No,
you wouldn't do that.
My Shaun's like a hop away from being like right out there.
You know? Right, but that's what I mean. Like I saw that, I was like, if we had asked to draw that character that way, there's no way. There's no way he would have done it.
You're calling Shaun out? Like, you use special privilege?
I'm calling Tasty out.
Calling Tasty out? Oh, even better.
Yeah. What do you think, Tasty? There's a lot of flashing going on. There's not the right kind of flashing going on. I'll tell you that.
I could probably get something going on, but really, nobody showed up for the show. Special guests.
We get to wing it.
We're totally winging
it. We're doing it right now. It's great. People love it.
We are.
After the break, we're going to try the Tasty IPA.
Oh, sweet!
Of course, I know you've had it.
I've had it, but
I saw you hitting on that stuff on Saturday at the
Hoot on it
worldwide release.
At the worldwide release at 21A.
Hoot on the IPA, Nate.
The August Fest.
Yeah.
21A August Fest. It was cool.
Had all their beers on, and
Drake's 28th anniversary was the same day. So San Leandro had a couple breweries doing killer events on Saturday. It was awesome.
That's dope.
And the Tasty IPA, I had it even out of a plastic cup. It tasted good. Yeah. So now I get to have it out of real glassware. In a much more relaxing environment. It was hot as hell out there that day, too.
Yeah. Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Whether you're drinking for thirst or thinking just to taste the beer. But,
I'm way too pale. I just combust in the sun when it's that hot. I have to hide. I had to hide by the Tasty tent talking to McDowell. That was
luckily,
great.
There were nice trees right across here.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, no, it was a really cool event. I don't know if the breweries even planned it to be on the same day, but it was cool to have a couple of beer fests going on in San Leandro
one
on the same
went from
day.
noon to 6, the other one from 5 to 9. So
Yeah.
we literally could,
so you had plenty,
like you did, right at 4.
Yep.
And then do both. I had to be there at 2, and
he's tracking you.
I had a little trouble getting out of the first one.
He's tracking you. He knew what time you showed up.
No. McDowell, not only that, but he's just strategizing. He's like, what would I do in these circumstances?
That's what I do. I show up at 4, do 2 hours of one, get the raging, the creaming part, and then go over to the other one. It's an hour. It's already our hour underway.
They're right next to each other too.
Did you say the creaming part?
Yeah, the creamy part. Like where everybody's like drunk. And,
the high Croydon.
Girls are like great. Like.
The high Croydon part. Isn't McDowell's got his own terminology? We're learning this is good.
The creaming part.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go to multiple events and you can time it that way.
You go at that high water.
Go at the high water.
Okay.
So McDowell's a master at this. He goes to like 10 a day. So he knows the timing has to be.
But he only has 1 ounce at each one.
Impeccable.
That's the secret.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is that the first ones, when they think, I'm like manning the tin. I'm not pouring the beer, but I'm out front.
Of course, right.
Yeah.
Signing breasts and kissing babies.
Right.
Or is that the other way around?
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, and
I would love it if the baby had a tasty autograph on his forehead and some breasts got kissed. That would be amazing.
Did you had some swag there? I kind of missed it. Were there stickers or tattoos? You had little tasty IPA release tattoos or something?
Nope. I asked for such a thing, but
they spent all the
they took it off of my rider.
They spent all the budget on the cryo hops. I think we can get into that later. I think I heard there's a rumor that some of those in there.
They were doing when I was asking for this kind of stuff. They had some sort of behind the scenes business transaction. I don't know. Something to do with some East Coast brewery. Some lager
that's right.
Some lager company or something.
If we do manage to get Shaun on the phone, we'll have to bug him about that. We'll save that one.
That would be the whole heart of the show.
I definitely wanted to talk to him about that, dude. For sure.
Get an exclusive.
I'm a little disappointed because we mentioned it on the show a couple weeks ago after it happened, like in a beer news.
Right.
But we saved it specifically for Sully to come in, and then now the poor kid is probably losing fluids out of every orifice.
This would be a great time to grill him about this. It's probably feeling really good about talking about awkward subjects. It'd be awesome. Yeah.
So I don't know. I threw him a text and I hadn't heard back, so I'm sure he's sleeping it off, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's take a break. Because, why not? And when we come back, we're going to talk to Tasty about his IPA. We're going to talk to Nate about whatever the hell Nate's been doing. And, I'm having the watermelon wheat, and I enjoy it. And I don't care who knows.
Delicious.
It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Shaun O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Yes, welcome back to the show, everybody. I apologize for burping so much. This wheat beer just has me gassy. I'm all gassy, Nate.
Too much CO2 in there, yeah?
I think it's a carbonation level thing, or you're just, it's so easy to drink, you're putting more down per swallow.
It might be what it is.
Just chug that whole thing.
It's got a belly full of CO2.
Just pound that shit, dude. It tastes good, man. I've never really been a wheat beer guy, and I kind of forgot how good this beer tastes.
That's a great beer.
I think, they really dialed it in recently. It seemed, I don't know, I'm just in the mood for it because it's hot as hell outside. It's like 102 degrees, 103 degrees or something.
Gross out here right now, dude. It's gross. Before we get to it, though, I do want to remind everybody that the Homebrew Label Awards are ongoing right now. You can submit your artwork at homebrewlabelawards.com and let your homebrewing peers shower you with votes, although I will say voting is coming to a close. So unless you have a huge social media network, what you should probably do is go to homebrewlabelawards.com and vote for other people's labels. You can help them achieve fame and glory. Last year, they gave out over $5,000 worth of prizes to the winners of homebrewlabelawards.com. So help your fellow homebrewer out. Don't forget, they have Best Label, and now they have a Worst Label competition, which are pretty funny. So check them out, homebrewlabelawards.com. Help your homebrewers. Help everybody out. It'll be a good thing. All right. Tasty. Michael McDowell.
Yeah.
How are you? Welcome back to the studio, Michael.
Doing great. I did miss a week, and then I was sick another one a few weeks ago, before that. So I've been not as regular not in a bowel sense, but regular on the show.
Well, now that you bring it up, how are your poops? Are they pretty good for older man?
Yeah, I got it all timed out.
Got it all timed out.
Every time I go to take a shower, I just like make shit happen.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah,
pun intended. No. And then I'm good. Come out all clean. I get all cleaned up and fresh as a daisy.
So Mick lives his life on a schedule. He knows when stuff's going down. Yeah.
Well, what else you got to do, man?
Okay, that's exactly right. I'm not working anymore, so I'm just timing my bowel moves. Something to do.
I want. Here's my prediction, Nate. Eventually, I think in about 10 years, he's going to be keeping a journal of all of this stuff. So right now it's in his head.
Yeah.
But I think as he grows older, as we all do,
you need a way to track it better, right?
But I think he's going to be kind of one of those kooky old men that track weird shit like that. He's already there, mentally.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to draw. I'm going to write out my ballot. I'm going to draw, maybe get a consistency, and so we're going to be reading his journal in 10 years.
You're going to do a cell phone app? Is just about to say you'll just clock in.
Cloud.
Yeah.
4:53 p.m.
Take a shit.
Yeah.
August 28th.
Poop number 3. There's actually a scale. It's like a 1 to 5 for poop consistencies. So you can have a better conversation with your doctor. What kind of poops are you having based on this chart? Generally
today
more
was a 3 or whatever. Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
So it's like a puddle in a...
I'm thrilled I've never learned this yet until now.
I don't know.
I haven't needed to, I guess, until now.
Well, everybody
there is
needs
such a
to know.
thing.
There's such a thing.
It's real.
Don't think... Anyway.
There's a metric for everything.
There has to be.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to do. There's too many people in the world, Tasty. What else are we going to do? Make beer for a living?
No.
Can't do that.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Right?
Yeah.
So you made a beer. You made an IPA, which, is my favorite style.
Yeah. 21st Amendment. Sully, in particular, wanted to do a collaboration beer with me, and we did.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. He was
perfect segment over.
How long has this been in the making? This has got to be at least a few months in the making,
GABF,
right?
I think it was either the Saturday night GABF.
So we're talking GABF. That's like September last year,
so it's a year
right?
ago,
Yep.
I'm at Falling Rock, and I'm with Randy and Randy Griggs and ran into Shaun, and we're talking to him, and he has this epiphany, we got to make a beer together. We're going to have to do a beer, and we'll release it, and it'll go everywhere. And I'm like, you work Chris with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaun, great, Shaun. Yeah. We'll talk. And he goes, no, serious. I'm really serious. And he's getting this whole thing. I'm really, really serious. So anyway, I believe it. This would be great. And then I didn't think much more about it. We went off to some jazz club and had a good time. It was fun. And then the next week I'm back. And Tuesday here comes an email. Let's talk about this.
It wasn't just idle chatter.
Here we are.
Just
I got the beer in my glass.
The follow-up, the rare follow-up.
Yeah, it wasn't just he had a sober moment. He did the same thing. What a great collaboration it's been. Him and his staff and everything. It's been great. Good time. Yeah,
you guys made a lot of this beer too. This isn't
700 barrels.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
God damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be in all 25 states. So if listeners want to give it a try, it's going to be out in cans and draft. You can go to the 21st-amendment.com, and they have a find our beer kind of link there. You put in your zip code, and it'll give you places where you can get it.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just starting to hit the distribution channels here soon.
You won't see it until a late third week in September.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There'll be some early release events mid-September, but you'll see it pretty much in the year market in cans and stuff towards late or third to fourth week in September.
25 states. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is the biggest tasty beer release, I think, to this point. There's maybe one in the other pipeline too.
In every state.
That's true.
That's true. Only 25, though. That's
25,
25.
How the mighty have fallen,
It's pretty
Nate.
cool.
Next time it'll be 10. Then it'll be in the Sacramento area, and then it'll be just in Clayton.
I'm prouder of this beer than Sam Adams.
The 200 beer. Well, you've learned a lot more.
Well, I like the Sam Adams beer as a beer, but their interpretation is not near as good as this beer. This is exactly like the homebrew that I made.
Got it. Oh, that's cool.
Well, let's taste this beer.
It's good to taste
before we get too far afield here.
It's got a slight haze to it. They use a centrifuge there, and they make it as clear as they want. So it's not quite
just a really
just
slight
got a
haze.
little bit of something.
It's pretty clear.
6.8, you say?
6.8, 70 IBUs by recipe. I think it might come out of about 50 in terms of
70. You said 70.
70, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's not as bitter as I expected. There's a smooth hop flavor to it and a smooth hop bitterness, but it's not. It kind of
finishes
blends in together.
It finishes flavorful, not bitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very pale. I'd say
we wanted to make
just a few SRM. It's
the goal was to make a yellow, very yellow West Coast colored malt.
What in my mind I was think of as a San Diego style IPA. It was one of the first places I remember having many IPAs in.
What is that?
In many locations that were just very, very pale.
Yeah. Is that
very, very pale in color? San Diego probably wasn't the first place to do it, but it certainly seemed to be a place where that gained a lot of popularity.
Just dropping like a lot of color out and just working on the color from the base malt?
Yes, exactly.
Well, there's a trend to take the crystal out of IPAs.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I see another trend to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could just consider that two different styles of IPA.
Right.
One with the crystal, the orange-colored beer, and the other without the crystal.
Is that a subset style? Like, is that really? I mean, do we need to? Do we need to go there to call it a different style, or?
I don't think.
By the way,
putting crystal in IPAs has been around for a long time.
This is now the IPA show that I have nothing to fucking say at all about it, but I'm trying to now turn it into one.
You're asking questions for the listener who doesn't. Thank you very much. Yes, very good.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Wouldn't be uncommon for East Coast IPAs, for instance, to have like 4 or 5% crystal 40, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Or even we think back to the Can You Brew It shows, and where IPA was and still is in many ways. There are a lot of very popular IPAs brewed as crystal malt.
Got a fair amount of crystal.
Union Jack's fair amount of crystal. Yeah, exactly. West Coast IPA Green Flash. I remember doing that recipe that Chuck gave us. It had a significant portion of crystal malt in it.
Pliny the Elder?
Pliny the Elder has crystal. Yeah, exactly. So we think of it as like a maybe late 90s, early 2000s way to make IPAs. A lot of people are still making them that way.
Really good beer.
But like you say, it's a slightly different interpretation of an IPA. A little bit different color, a little bit different maybe mouthfeel and
it's just
sweetness.
Another flavor sort of environment. I like them both, and that's
Yeah, they're different. They're different beasts. They can be done well without or with it, for sure.
So anyway, the goal on this beer was we sat down with Shaun and we're at the very, very beginning, and we said we're going to make a 6.8% beer. And we were throwing out some malts, and we came up with 10% light Munich, 14% Wireman Pils. That's kind of like my thing about using two different base malts.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 73% raw Arturo. And then I'm giving my homebrew recipe because that's what I did.
Right.
Then I used 3% acidulated because I'm trying to get the drinking pH down to like where it's a really bright and crisp beer. They didn't do that in the production beer, but they didn't need to.
Did they just modify the water instead?
Yeah, their water. The water is I think starts out lower pH than mine did.
Okay, so they left the acidulated malt because they could make up for that in pH.
Right.
Okay.
You're kind of trying to target a pH either way, either if you're trying to get there like you do at home through acidulated malt or in the brewery, adjusting however they would normally adjust.
And that's just not just for the finish, but in the kettle and the mash as well.
Right.
So they got that. And the pH of this finished beer we're drinking is, I think it's 4.29. It's
that pretty normal for a standard production IPA? Yeah.
For an ale, lager might be a little bit higher. So 3 malts, basically. Then it's got like 30, it's like a 70 IBU beer, 31 IBUs at 60 minutes. Then the flavor hops are Equinaut and Mosaic, right? So at 10 minutes, there's 4 IBUs of Mosaic, 5 IBUs of Equinaut. Not a big addition, but it's close to the end, so it doesn't take that much. And then at Flame Out, it's 20 IBUs of Mosaic and 10 IBUs of Equinaut. So it's a very...
Are you saying Equinox?
Equinaut.
Equinaut. It's the new name.
Equinox used to be the old name for the same hop.
Right, and there was
okay.
Maybe some kind of a trademark dispute or some kind of conflict. So.
Sure, maybe the Earth was like, hey, this is my shit.
This is my patent. I own this. You need to...
Equinaut.
Yes.
Equinaut, yeah, it's got a K and a UA.
But it's the same genetic material. It's the same hop, as I understand it.
Okay.
As Equinox was or is.
Well, so what stood out for me in the presser, I guess, or whatever, is the cryo hop.
Yes.
What is that, and why are we impressed?
All right, it's just the lupulin powder, which I think homebrewers are seeing and available in the market.
It seems like the new thing.
Yeah, it's it's the like a CO2 extraction of like the essence of the.
It's just the good stuff and none of the vegetative matter in theory, or less vegetative matter, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In theory, it should be 0, I guess, right?
I don't know if it's 99% pure, maybe it's 80% pure.
Anything that high is
at least it's not half vegetative stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the whole idea.
So you use it for bittering?
You can.
It would be.
Or does it matter?
I suppose you could. It would seem like it would be less beneficial than using it on the at the end of the boil or in the dry hop.
I don't know. We use it in the dry hop.
Seems like the most sensible application for it.
Because basically if you look at the data, it's got twice the alpha, twice the beta.
That was going to be my next question. So it's like twice the alpha, and you kind of use it in the brew house as if it were that strong.
Exactly. So when I dry hop with it, for instance,
you can cut it in half in theory. Then.
Yeah. So when I dry hop, then I make a 10-gallon batch. So I had 5 gallons of beer. That I was going to dry hop. I dry hop in the keg.
Right.
So I was going to dry hop one with pellets and one with lupulin powder. So for instance, on the this is why I write my homebrew recipes. On the pellet dry hop, I used a pound per barrel of Mosaic and a pound per barrel of Equinox.
Got it. So a pound of each per barrel, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 pounds per barrel.
Yep.
And the lupulin, I used a half a pound because it's basically double everything else.
Right.
And then, took that finished beer, which is turned out to be 6.8%, 6.74 here. And I sat on with Shaun, and we tried them side by side with the pellets or with lupulin powder.
Right.
And we thought, wow, there's much more aroma in a lupulin powder, so we'll go with that one. So they weren't sure they could get it. They did get it. In the sit-down, we thought it needed more hop aroma, even after that. So he added Citra to the dry hop in the production beer.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So Citra wasn't there in the homebrew recipe and was added into
the production.
So it was essentially if it was, let's say, 2 pounds per barrel before, now it's 2.5 or maybe 3.
Let me tell you here. Wait a second. I got the production sheet here. It's upside down. All right. All right. So total amount. Where's it at? All right. So 60% of the dry hop was Citra.
Yes.
25% was Mosaic and 15% was Equinox, right? So if you know that the 25% Mosaic and the 15% Equinox are if you double those, obviously it's going to be more than 100%. But the effect is that those about balance out.
Right.
I think it's slightly more towards the lupulin and less the Citra, even though Citra pellets are a bigger percentage of the dry hop.
Okay, got it. And the Citra component was pellets.
Yes.
And the other were lupulin. Oh, that's cool.
Well,
so you had kind of a blend going on between the two formats.
And a minor point, although significant here, is they got the pelletized version of the lupulin powder.
Got it.
The lupulin powder version is
that's probably hard to work with, especially you're talking. You said 700 barrels, right? This is a pretty significant quantity of dry hop material, right?
Now they don't dry hop into the top of the fermenter. People who do are experience horrible situations. I mean, it's just kind of waxy, that powder.
Okay.
And so it just kind of sits on top. It forms like a pellicle almost.
Oh, geez.
Good point. So it may not get dissolved into solution as well. So you have to do something. So
you
maybe
mix it around.
21st,
flush.
21st Amendment has a
hop cannon.
They do have
it's like a torpedo or something like that.
Matty B, I think, is what Shaun called it when I was saying
that's right. That's right.
It's great. Matty B on it, right? After Matt Brindle's.
Of course.
So it's a nice little device on big casters, and they move it over next to the fermenter.
Yep.
They flush it with CO2, and they put the hops in. They might flush it a couple other times, make sure there's a little oxygen in there, and they'll bring some wort over, right? And they'll recirc it back into that same container.
They recirc before.
They get this stuff into like a slurry.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And then they start recircing back into the fermenter and back, and pretty soon it gets pretty thin. And then in the end, they just shoot all the other what's left up into the fermenter.
So between doing the Matty B hop cannon thing and recirculating and then mixing with pellets, they have less of this effect, or maybe everything just sort of sits on top.
Oh, yeah, it never gets to the top.
There's no way it's just sitting on top. No. It's fully mixed into solution at that point.
Fully mixed up.
That's cool.
And then you get a better extraction, because I think they were able to use less than I would use in a homebrewing situation, because they get better.
Which was going to be my next question. When you're using this lupulin powder, one of the things that really helps in the brew house, you're going to get 700 barrels of this beer. You can put a number on how many barrels you could potentially save by putting less vegetative matter in the kettle.
Because it's not absorbing.
Any step of the process.
Right.
Because it's not absorbing the beer, right? You don't have
Right.
Okay, got it.
Probably one of the big selling points of the Lupulin powder. As long as you can make it true to brand in a big brewery, you could potentially switch that and then get barrels back.
Right, and you've heard of like dry hopping reducing the IBUs in the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the vegetative matter pulling it out.
Right.
If you don't have that in there, it's not going to pull it out.
Oh, I see. So you can maybe even get more efficiency on a bittering charge.
Yeah.
So there's different things both up and downstream. Then, yeah.
Exactly.
How long have you been working with this and not mentioning it on the Brewing Network at all, Tasty?
This is the big debut. Come on,
we're a homebrewing show. I want you to remind you that. I want you to remind you that we're a homebrewing show, and you can come in and talk to us at any time.
There was going to be one of these shows.
This is the day. This is the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jesus.
This is it.
So let me.
I got other stuff I'm doing. Whatever.
Let me try and distract this. You calling them out here? You mentioned the bittering charge.
Why would you do that?
Was about 31 IBUs. 31 IBUs.
Yeah.
That was not lupulin powder, and it was CTZ.
Just a generic. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so there's some flexibility there. You think? In terms
whatever
of
they got
recipe. Yeah. Cool.
My homebrew was Columbus as well.
Finishing gravity on this was pretty dry. It tastes pretty dry.
I got
2.5 Play-Doh, maybe
10-12.
Okay. 4 Play-Doh. Yeah, 3.
Is that lower than or higher than what you got, or just about normal what you got in your homebrew that you never talked about?
I'm talking about the homebrew. I don't know what they got.
Oh, okay.
I'd say
beer hit 6.8.
2.5, 3 maybe is what it tastes like, but it's pure guess.
Yeah.
It does taste kind of up there.
Nice and dry.
Yeah. Is that dry for a IPA? I mean,
you can go lower for sure, but this
it's right in. It's like
there's still some mouthfeel.
It's on the dry side of the balance, but not extremely dry.
Okay.
Right.
So. And again, I'm not trying to say
no.
I'm
totally. It's not bone dry.
I'm on the moon right here. I have no idea what I'm talking about with as far as like what's commonplace for an IPA.
You would not say this is a sweet
because I have a palate.
Knowingly sweet beer in life.
You don't like beating up your palate with IPA,
right? I actually enjoy tasting beer. It's a whole thing I have. I'll talk to you about it someday.
Well, not a bad thing to do.
With the changes there, Tasty, do you like it better than your homebrew? Do you like it the same as the homebrew? Do you like it worse?
I'd have to have them side by side. I mean, I don't have that good.
Huh? Don't give me that.
Well,
do you like them?
There's one difference in our breweries. I have a much different slant on sulfate to chloride ratio than they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You'd lean a little bit more towards...
I'm much more the sulfate.
Sulfate?
I'm like 15-1 or something.
And there's more of a chloride on...
When I walked in, it was like they're 2-1.
Okay.
But I made a little... I said...
And I have my own...
They said, we've been sort of moving away from that. So I got them go to 3-1 on the brew day.
Is that softer water? Is that what you mean?
It's just more sulfate, so it brings out the hoppiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I was going to say, I have my own interpretation of what I think this would do. That's how you'd make the split then. You think it just drives more of a hop bitterness quality?
If we're able to get more like a 6-1 sulfate to chloride ratio, this beer would be much crisper, brighter, a little more hop forward.
You got it. So if you were going to do this again and you could have every wish in the world about doing it, you would lean a little more in that direction to compare?
No, the beer's really good as it is.
The beer's awesome. I'm not saying you even need to do that.
I would like it better. Whether the masses do, that's up to them. I mean, it's just more of a personal thing.
Right. And so if we were to lean more on the chloride side of things, what would that do to a beer like this?
Well, it'd bring out the malt character.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's something you want to do, like if you're doing like a session IPA that has a low OG.
Yeah.
And you want to and you're trying to hop it up really aggressively, so it's not so thin. You want to accentuate the malt.
Yep.
So that's when you would go to like a chloride ratio of like 1-1, or maybe not that far, but 2-1 kind of thing.
So we have Munich in the recipe, and that's a pretty melanoid forward characterful malt. Would that potentially bring out the Munich quality more?
Yeah, it might. Yeah. This has a lot of chloride in it. It's like 50 to 150, 50 chloride.
Seems like an easy thing a homebrewer could do with this style of a recipe, because it has some of that flexibility. You either dial that up or down depending on your own tastes.
Yeah,
right?
the yellow beer without the lot of crystal character in the grain bill. Then you can let the
water's going to come through a little more.
Can, drive the beer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. So if a homebrewer were to take this recipe and even dial it down slightly, like they wanted to make a 6.2% version of it or something like that, do you think the same percentages would apply, or would you change the ratios and components?
You'd have to make sure you back down the IBUs as well.
Of course, yeah.
Unless that's what you're looking for. I mean, it's nice. Like fortunately, our listeners,
I think this is great. I think this is great at 680.
Can get a can of this beer and then listen to the show. Which is most of our shows, we talk about beers that people can't get. Right?
That's probably fair.
Yeah, here's a beer that in 25 states you can get it.
Totally, which is why I'm asking about this.
If you do some sharing and stuff, you could probably get it in a lot more states, right?
Because a home brewer could taste this and say, okay, I want to make something like this, but I want to put my slight twist on it, or I'm going to make the exact same thing.
Exactly.
And take the recipe.
Hopefully, they by listening to this, they've gleaned how the beer was made, and they can okay. How I want to move it in this other direction.
One thing we haven't talked about is yeast. What would you pick, and how would you treat the yeast for this beer?
Well, I use the California yeast, and so does 21st Amendment.
Yeah,
they have a kind of a unique. Because they're a 100-barrel brew house and with 500-barrel fermenters.
Yes,
and they have 200. That's how we got 700. Like the brew day I showed up, we're going to do 2 batches, and Miles, the lead brewer, and Jeff, the head brewer, were there, and we went over the thing, and we went and watched the milling in process and all that kind of stuff. And so we did 2 100 turns that day and put that into their 200-barrel fermenter for that day.
Oh, got it. Cool. So it was 2. I was just about to ask that. You said 700 total, but you're brewing 2 times, and it's 100 each time. Right, so you filled up the small one.
The next day, because they're running like basically a one-shift brew house. If they were running a multi-shift brew house, they would just keep brewing.
And it's a beautiful brewery, too. That thing is amazing.
Right, so the next day, they started filling the 500 by brewing 2 100-barrel batches. The following day, they did 3 to fill it back up.
Got it.
So they're pitching and oxygenating, with they're rechecking the fermenter every time they add more wort to it, because to make sure they get the right pitching rate in the end.
Right.
Because overnight.
Interesting.
Between Monday night and
the volume's
Tuesday,
going to change.
Right. It's going to go from 7 or 9 million cells. It's going to go to 20.
Yes.
Jeez. That's a lot of management. That's a lot of management.
So you have to take another reading again and see where you're at.
No, yeah. Well, they can predict mostly by experience or lab. But they're checking the lab for sure.
Got it. And they have a lot of experience with the beer about the strength and this kind of hop load.
Oh, yes,
this kind of
it's very much similar to one of the other beers.
Exactly. So they know, right. So they can kind of take those parameters and watch for similar kinds of cues and probably learn a lot from that.
And they don't oxygenate every pit in every knockout. They got it figured out.
That's going to be kind of a trip.
I think the oxygenation is more like to keep things in that mode. So that when it's all there at one time,
right,
it goes into
you want to be in aerobic phase and not the anaerobic phase, essentially, and keep the yeast in that same growth phase, and not have them switch over, right? Not until you've completely got the volume you want.
Until you're ready to go, and you
right?
Then it finds its way.
That's cool.
Then that's when it creates these more acids and lowers the pH and all that kind of stuff.
It's funny, man. We talk about yeast management, or we hear on the show doing interviews, brewers talk about yeast management, but you don't really get into the details like that, and it sounds like there's a lot of different ways and a lot of time to be spent on making sure that everything is dialed in right.
Yep. When you got multiple brews going into the same fermenter, you got a lot to manage. Yep. There's many ways in which you could follow that up unless you really have the experience. I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, really.
So
absolutely.
Homebrewers don't typically do a lot of that, so we don't have a lot of knowledge on this type of level on these type of shows about doing that stuff, but it's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tasty. Well, anything else you want to say about the beer, my friend, before we move on?
I'm going to be in Chicago, September.
No, the World Tour is going to have the T-shirt with the dates on the back.
I'm going to be in New York.
New York first.
At Blind Tiger Ale House.
Nice.
September, I think, 18th or 19th. You'll see something in your local area. Then I'm going to go to Chicago and do a couple events.
Cool.
Tasty's going country. Why?
I'm on the tour. Tasty on tour.
So 3 events total so far. 2 cities?
Yeah.
And then there's local stuff, too, I'm sure, in the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
You want to plug those a little bit?
Yeah. To see, of course, this is the premiere event tonight.
Yep.
And Wednesday night I'll be the beer will be at the Good Hop
at the Good Hop, Melissa's place in Oakland. Yep.
Okay.
And then
why aren't you going to be there?
I'll be there.
All right.
And on Thursday night it'll be at Barclays in Berkeley, and I'll be there.
At Barclays, at the new Barclays. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So catch it there, and then I'm going to be hitting some random events the following week, probably in San Francisco.
Sounds good.
Very cool. So
Look for the dude.
The Bay Area distribution is just starting to hit. It's a delicious beer. Well done.
I'm very, very happy for it's just a great. I couldn't be happier.
It's got to be a trip when there's 700 barrels of that beer in a fermenter in the brewery when you got that.
Holy shit! I hope it's good.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
it's
beer.
Really good.
It wasn't like we were like adjusting it and like no, we're just like going for it the whole time.
You got to do it. Just jump in. All right, everybody, we're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do a little beer news. Probably talk about whatever else we can talk about, and maximize Nate's time here because Nate's never here anymore. So that's sad for us.
I'm here now.
It's The Session. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Grog tags aren't just for labeling your home brews to hand out to your friends. They're the perfect way to round out your personal brewing marketing. Bringing your latest beer to a funeral? Craft a metal sign to go with it. Heading out to little Liam's bar mitzvah? Grog Tag custom bottle caps are awesome. Couldn't get out of jury duty this year? Grog Tag the hell out of the deliberation room with reusable labels. Grog Tag has an awesome array of products just waiting to be customized by you. Metal signs, coasters, tasting mats, bottle caps, tap handles. It's all there waiting for your designs at Grog Tag. Liven up your next party with the widest selection of custom products ever offered by a sponsor of the Brewing Network. Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SanaClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company on the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
That's right. That's what's good about it, is that it sucks. Tasty, apparently it's your birthday today, too.
Yes.
It is. Oh, cake was just delivered. It is McDowell's birthday. We have McDowell's beer on tap.
I don't choose the days. It just happens every
We have
year.
McDowell's beer on tap, and it's his birthday today.
And it's not after 8, so you can actually eat it.
Oh, no, it kills my beer palate.
Too much sweets kills your beer palate? Yeah. I'm with you on
I
that.
have a lot of beer to drink yet.
There you go.
That's the spirit.
Let's see. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm trying to do here for live reads. I have no idea. Here, I know we do have to talk about it. Is Adam and Eve.
Oh.
We're going to AdamandEve.com. 50% off any one item. Let's see if I can do this. 50% off any one item. When you choose that one item at 50% off, you get free shipping, and you get the Big O kit, I believe is what it is now. Usually Bev prints out all this stuff for me. I tell you guys,
for those who don't have the audio visual at home, JP was doing that with his eyes closed because he knows this.
We give Bev a lot of shit, and she knows it, and it's a whole thing we have. But she does a lot of stuff that I don't even know where that live read would be.
So whenever you're lost tonight and wherever you have no idea what's going on, it's a testament to Beverly's ability to hold the show together for you.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
Does a lot.
She definitely does, man. And, I'm sorry
it makes the thing easier.
going through some
You're
jobs.
having trouble now, obviously.
Thank you, Bevo. We know you're out there somewhere. We miss you so much.
January 2017 copy? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Go to AdamandEve.com. Support them. They support us. I still need to get to their warehouse because I think that'd be hilarious.
They're on the East Coast somewhere, right?
I think they're in North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
Which has a bigger scene. I would definitely go down there and check it out. You know what's been crazy, dude? I've really been into... remember the show Treme? You ever watch it? It was on HBO. It was about,
missed that one.
Like Katrina. New Orleans post-Katrina.
Yep.
Fuck, I never saw it because I don't want to be harsh, but I didn't really give a shit. I was like, okay, it's going to be depressing and it's a political thing, and I don't really give a shit about it.
Not why you wanted to watch TV.
Not why I want to watch TV, but it's from the same dudes who did The Wire.
Yeah.
Which is a rad show. So I started watching it, and I'm all about New Orleans right now. I think it's the most amazing town. I've never been, but the music they have, Trombone Shorty and Kermit Ruffins, and they have all these people.
New Orleans is one of those American cities that actually has a huge storied history throughout the centuries, really.
Yeah, for sure. And anyway, so I'm all about that. I'm almost done with the first season, and I can't wait to get to New Orleans, but because I've never
been there before.
Never been there before. Never really cared because I didn't really know much about it.
No Bourbon Street for you. No, never been there. French Quarter, all that kind of stuff.
No, I never
been.
No, it's first of all, crowds and a bunch of liquor, and I don't care about either of those things.
Yeah.
But New Orleans is so much more than that. And I'm embarrassed to say I didn't really know about it. You know what I mean? And so watching this TV show and living in California, I feel like I'm culturally devoid of life.
Yeah, there's not that much depth as there is in a place like New Orleans. No, for sure. That's good. That's why you need to go while you have that context, while you're all fired up about it. Yeah, I want to go. I've never been since I was too young to remember the place. Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's cancel the show. We can be there. There we go. We're done.
Fuck, how rad would that be if we
That'd be pretty cool.
boarded a plane right now? Two fucking white idiots just boarding. Where are you going? New Orleans.
Straight to New Orleans.
I don't know.
They're like, this not even Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
they're like, where are these idiots headed? They don't even know what they're doing.
But anyway, if you like jazz, so and that's what's kind of got me going is the great music.
Oh, it's
in
like
the
ground
show,
zero
man.
for American music. In many ways, it really is.
Absolutely. And but they have actual New Orleans jazz musicians in the show, like playing parts, and they're playing songs, and they're doing, and it's like the real fucking
real
thing,
deal.
man.
That's cool,
and it's dope as hell, dude. I'm super into it. Now all I listen to is like jazz and shit like that. So anyway, that's my.
You've been missing out all this time. See, now you know.
Nice to know there's more. There is more.
Like I've been listening to jazz a lot, just kind of in general, because it's you can only hear such 3-chord progressions for so many years,
right?
But I guess I've always wanted to be like a person who can call out a few jazz people, like, oh, who was great is fucking Homeboy McGee, and his seminal record, like Flowering Catfish. I don't know, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that. I don't have that kind of head for music history and shit like that, and I really respect people who can do that and not sound like assholes about it. But anyway, I don't know. I like it. It's definitely broadening my horizons a little bit on jazz. Like Dave Bartholomew is someone I picked up on now because of the show, and it's like, dude, pretty good.
Was there ever an NHC in New Orleans? There ever been one down there?
Fuck, I would love
that'd be pretty
NHC
cool
in New Orleans, dude. I'm trying to get my people in Orange County to have an NHC in Anaheim.
I wonder why.
So I think we're working on it. Yeah, I think it's going to be good, man.
No, that'd be good.
So I figured that out, and it was like, here we go.
It's due to come back to California.
Yeah.
It's due to come back to California, and all the stuff that's happening in beer, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the whole greater LA region now than there was ever before. So, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I want to go down and just do a little beer tourism down that way. It's been a long time since I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I'll be down there this weekend, actually, doing a run at Disneyland. They have like the Disney runs and shit.
What is it? What is a Disney run?
It's like, so they do like a 5K, a half marathon, and like a full marathon over a 3-day weekend, and they shut the park
doing a
down
5K?
in the morning. I'm doing the 5K.
Nice, man.
And it's like themed or whatever. I'm running with Push and his family.
Awesome.
And of course my wife and Terrence.
Can you have a costume? Are you wearing running?
I'm not wearing a costume because just after moving and all the shit we've been through, like I don't have time for that shit. Sure. Look. We're definitely not going to be running the whole time. Okay.
Oh, come on. That was my next question.
You're answering the questions I had initially.
Yeah.
Like, you run?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I am physically able to move my legs in a rapid formation. However, I wouldn't. Not very long. Not very long at all.
As long as it would take to do a 5K at your pace.
It's all about the lungs.
Dude, it's but I enjoy it. I think it'll be a good time.
It sounds like you're going to have a good time because you have the right expectation and a bunch of good people to do it with.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. Stop by my friends Eagle Rock there, and and I'm going back down in November, and we're going to rebrew our Anton, our Vienna lager that we brewed last year. No, this year, earlier, and that the hop grain I never bought. I told Kevin about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll get that." And he just forgot. And I was like, "Motherfucker, here? Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
got to order it.
He forgot to order. He was like going through a bunch of shit. I'm like, "You motherfucker, you." So anyway, so we're gonna rebrew that, John, and it'll be a good time, man.
Yeah, that's nice. They make some really nice beers there.
They really do. But yeah, Orange County in general is getting a lot of breweries. I mean, I know at least two separate people who are opening breweries down there. And it's about fucking time, man. They have tons of people down there. Just the tourism dollar alone.
Huge population center.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Everyone's getting craft beer.
Everyone's getting into craft beer, dude. Okay, let's do some beer news. Brought to you by Beer Law Center. John at the Beer Law Center, although John hasn't emailed me back in a couple of weeks, so, I'm hesitant. No, I'm kidding. He does a great job. If you pay him, he does a great job. If you're just a schmuck like me throwing out emails, he probably won't care. But beerlawcenter.com, if you have anything to protect as far as trademarks or patents or whatever, or if you're opening a brewery or a winery or whatever, and you need help going through all the paperwork and making sure to cross all your T's and dot your lowercase J's, John will definitely help you out. He's a knowledgeable dude, nice guy, super friendly. And he's our friend. Okay, a little bit of beer news here. This was a good one. This is from, I don't know, some weird website. Carling, the brewery, and I believe they're in Europe and in the UK. They admit their beer is weaker than advertised.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. By how much? Let's see. Do they explain?
Here we go.
Yeah.
So apparently, they say they've purposely weakened their beer for tax reasons, but never changed the percentage on the label. Carling has confessed that it reduced the alcohol content in its beers from 4% to 3.7%, and they've been doing it for 5 years.
That's like 8% reduction or something, right? What, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, right around there.
8% more profit just by adding water.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, McDowell.
Wow,
yeah.
That's like pretty money.
So in the United States, I know there are laws about this, and you can be off by, what is it? It depends on probably the state or the region, 0.3.
Maybe vary by state.
Yeah, 0.1, 0.2, I don't know.
0.5 is the most I've heard of.
Exactly. I was just about to quote that, but I think that's definitely on the upper end of what's allowed. So if there are similar laws in the UK, they were within that margin of error.
But I don't get the fact that it seemed like the higher the alcohol, the more the tax. Or am I not quite getting the gist of this?
They say, what did you say?
Yeah, that's a good point. So they still had the higher alcohol on the label, so they were paying that higher tax, but it was cheap.
3.7, they pay less.
Right? I don't get it. Yeah, that's weird.
Well, I wonder if they, if it's pre-packaged, right? So they take the reading and then they mark it down on the tax determination sheets.
Yep.
And then they don't worry about the label.
For the profit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And then, meanwhile, everyone at the pub is thinking they're buying 4% beers that are 3.7.
The reduction came to light after the tax man brought Molson Coors to court seeking an outstanding $500,000 in pounds, so whatever that would be in real dollars, that would have been due if the beer had an actual content of 4%. But the brewers were able to produce documentation that showed that the beer had actually been cut to 3.7 all the way back in September. However,
shame on them.
Right.
No.
However, Molson Coors insists they did not mislead consumers because its labeling was entirely consistent with the law. A spokesperson for the brewery says, due to their natural ingredients, very natural ingredient, all beers are permitted to have a slight variation between the finished product and the alcohol content stated on the label. For most beers, the alcohol variation is 0.5%.
Oh, there you go.
No, it's not.
There's the...
it's allowed, but that's not the...
Right.
For most
there's
beers
a vague assertion of what we were just talking about.
They have no control of their process.
Right.
This is a brewery that has complete control of their process.
Yes.
Well, right, and they didn't do it for... I mean, the variation is there because it's a natural product, right? It's a byproduct of another organism going to work.
I mean, we got this extract. We're not, come on. They know exactly.
Right. Exactly, and they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
They're doing it for profit.
Follow money.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like not the spirit of the law, the intent of the law, right? Yeah.
Now, they're claiming everybody else's breweries vary like that, too.
Now, some breweries do this intentionally for other reasons, and they market specifically. So, Sierra Nevada, for example, that we learned when we were there a year and a half back or whatever. I knew this, but I didn't have the numbers to put to it. So,
yeah,
their draft product they sell, and I believe it's at 5.
Right.
And then the bottled product is at like 5.5 or 5.4.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so the draft product they can sell in a wider region and have it not have to bump up against the liquor laws that are there for draft-only beer.
Yeah.
But the bottled product can stay as it is. So now that's a case where they're labeled completely independently in different ways, even though they're both sold as Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. The draft version and the bottled version are different things intentionally.
Yes.
It's not like they're doing anything deceiving, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a funny article. Well, I guess it's not really funny because everything's in context, but the huge hurricane they're having out down there in Texas. Hope everyone's safe down there, by the way. Apparently, they were doing some news coverage, and a lady came up and gave the newscaster a 6-pack of beer.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
While shooting Friday news coverage of Hurricane Harvey, Dallas-based Fox News Channel reporter Casey Stiegel found himself on the receiving end of such good graces when a literal beer goddess, drenched from the storm, appeared out of nowhere to interrupt his live national broadcast and hand him a 6-pack of local beer.
With such difficulty with visibility and all the rest. Here's
you guys some Galveston beer.
Well, thank you. That will be nice for after.
Just like sets it down and he keeps going.
Galveston beer.
That's rad.
Friendly people here. Those that we've talked to have said, "Hey."
And he's just what a true professional.
He's like, well, maybe later. That's great.
Upon closer inspection of the video, it appears that the woman handed Stiegel a pack of Galveston Island Brewing's Tiki Wheat.
Cool.
It's their flagship beer made of half wheat and half barley.
It really is a local beer. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. That's kind of neat, you know what I mean? And the guy was pretty cool about it. He goes, we all need a little laugh in the middle of a moment like this. Took me by surprise in a good way. Thanks for your message.
Cool.
I thought that was fun. It's like, you know what I mean? Usually it's like, here's a Budweiser, but it's actually craft beer.
Well,
and
that's what I figured. I
it's-
figured it was like a 6-pack of Coors or something.
Yeah.
But
No, it's
local beer.
you know,
That's pretty cool.
It definitely speaks to the market, man, for sure. Here's another fun one that I thought about putting out here, and I'm going to right now. I don't know if you guys saw the story about some lady who runs this neural network, like an AI kind of thing, and puts a bunch of names in it and then thinks about shit and comes up with its own creative shit.
Yeah, it's doing its own machine learning and coming up with an answer about one thing or another.
Yeah, I guess they did with like to name kittens and metal bands. We should look at that one too. Pokemon, paint colors. But this lady pumped a bunch of stuff in here for craft beer names. And let this neural network create some craft beer names.
Like you feed in all the Untapped data and all the rate beer and beer advocate data. And
All
have
the
it.
movie titles and references.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, McDowell. It has to have like an Americana cultural reference.
I'm reading this right now. There are 90 types of beer in the full data set. For example, black ales, Belgian ales, blah, blah, blah. To make the task manageable, they sorted them into broader groups, and then she set the neural network to work on each category. I don't know how they figured it out, but anyway,
it sounds like she added some other intelligence.
Yeah. They have
artificial.
some seed data, and then this machine learning AI stuff goes off and decides what it wants to do based on that.
Yeah, this is on the Lewis and Quark .tumblr.com blog site. But anyway, so she has a category of IPAs.
Okay.
These are some pretty fucking good, and I think this is where you're going to have to go in the future. You can't, anything you think of by now has been thought of by someone else.
Well, I want to see the names that it come in with first.
Yeah, because you just designed the
part
code.
of our intelligence is making mistakes.
Right.
Being wrong.
Exactly.
You want to see the cold data,
I want
right?
to see the,
for sure.
You could have the code compare it to the existing names that are already out in the world, and it throws them away if they're already there.
Yeah.
Doesn't qualify, right?
So anyway, they cranked it out. They churned and chimed.
Yep.
And here it is.
Here are some of them. Earth Dock.
Earth Dock,
DOCK. Earth Dock.
Oh, Earth Dock.
Yeah.
Huh.
IPA.
I don't know about that. That's all right. But
Dang River.
Dang River.
I don't know. Yam Quack.
Sounds like the name of a small town somewhere.
Yeah.
Yam Quack Brewery.
Jane is the Dog IPA. Jane is the Dog. JAIN. Earth to Sane Bus. Tower of Ergalon, which sounds like a pretty good metal fucking album. To be
sounds
honest
like
with
some
you.
Lord of the Rings takeoff.
Yeah. Y'all in Wool.
Y'all in Wool.
Heaven Cat, which I would drink any beer called fucking Heaven Cat. I thought those were pretty good.
Because you have Toxo.
Now,
like
to
I
me,
do.
it seems like they took all the names of good beers that people are doing and you put those on like wheels and spun them around and like mix them up.
Could be for sure. They did.
Of course,
they did
AI, right? Like,
yeah, you don't know. Strong
I could
pale
do that.
ales. Strong pale ales. Thick black. No, thick back. Sorry.
Oh, thick back. Okay.
The Fragger Bar.
The Fragger Bar.
Third Mouse. MAUS. Sips the Skunks Belgian Triple. I mean, like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Sips the Skunks.
Brother Panty Triple.
I think you want skunk anywhere in a beer name, but
Brother Panty.
Brother Panty. That's like
that'd be like Tasty's name.
It's like your brother who wears panties.
Yeah. Cherry Boof Corn. I mean, some of these are fucking outrageous, but some of them are pretty good. Amber ales. Fire Pipe.
all right. Yeah.
Right? Sacky Rover. I don't know.
Sacky. No, this is good.
I would totally name a beer Sacky Rover.
Yeah.
But I'm getting so much of this random like two words put together.
A little bit. Yeah.
River Smush Hoppy Amber Ale.
See, they had to take a category that's like the dead category to have the better names in it, right?
Stouts. The Moon.
The Moon.
It's a little poetic.
Is it EYE?
No, the letter I. The Moon. I think that's great. Black Morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best so far.
That's got to be. There's got to be one out there. Yeah.
I don't know. You want to find out?
That's it. Well,
what else we got to do?
Why not? Yeah, we got time.
Time, plenty of beer.
Stout.
We're on the tab here.
No.
Listeners know we're on the tab here?
No Black Morning? Wow. All right, there you go. Somebody's got to take that one. It's a stout with coffee in it. Come on.
Sunday morning stout, but not Black Morning.
Black Morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Drankers Java Stout. Take Bean must be a coffee stout. That's pretty good. I don't know, but I like their blog because on the top she made like 4 labels for these things, and they're all grog tags. Like she just made them in like the grog tag thing, and then
Sure.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a good place to design a label. Yeah. Even if you don't order it, you can design it.
Yeah, it looks super pro.
The metal bands is pretty good. Yeah, so far untaken. Dragon Red of Blood. Stagabash.
Stagabash.
Yeah.
Will Stagabash.
Vermit.
Vermit?
Vermit.
I think that's my favorite. Vermit.
Inhum
it's
the
like
Thorg.
It's like a vomiting frog. Vermit.
Yeah, Vermit. Inhorm the Thorg. That sounds like a song more than a Snapperstein.
Snapperstein.
We are Snapperstein. Sun Damage Omen.
Sun Damage Omen. They're from Norway. They can't handle the sun either.
I like sun damage just the way it is.
Yeah, Sunday, exactly.
I think so too. Here's a shitty article. I'll just tell you guys.
Let's hear all about it. Can't wait.
It's not very, I don't know, it's not very craft beer, but it's important for us to talk about. Apparently there's a brewery in Atlanta called Scofflaw that is pissing off its people, its fans. Scofflaw.
Okay. What did they do?
Well, so apparently they are on the rise. They've been out for about a year, and they're on the rise in Atlanta for, of course, NEIPAs, right?
Atlanta, sure.
This is from Paste magazine. They say in short, Scofflaw's beer has justified the trips. Their hype is genuine and well-earned, along with Athens' creature comforts. Scofflaw is responsible for bringing a new wave of IPA enthusiasm to Atlanta, producing the kind of intensely juicy and tropical modern IPAs that have come into the vogue everywhere else in recent years.
Well, they got some tick box off some terms there.
Right, for sure. On some level, they took advantage of ATL being behind the curve in terms of adoption on these juicy and often hazy NEIPA beers to immediately make a big splash when they opened. But there's always a flip side. Apparently, many Scofflaw drinkers are pressing the issue of consistency and repeatability on the company's flagship Cloudy IPAs. Which is kind of inherently in the product. Yeah. Well, and so here's what's going on. Apparently, demand is super high.
My neighborhood brewery isn't consistent enough, damn it. I guess maybe.
Well, it's nice to have that many experts around that can actually know consistency.
Yeah. Well, so here we go. So they go... it's almost to be expected.
Like full of them, I assume.
Right.
But go ahead.
It's almost to be expected that there will be growing pains and difficulty putting out consistent product in a young operation, especially when demand is high. Craft beer geeks know this, and by and large accept it as one of the non-ideal realities of this field we've chosen to obsess over. But still, it's not uncommon for fans of a brewery to offer a little constructive criticism and perhaps voice a hope for greater consistency or share an unsatisfactory experience. What is uncommon is a brewery reacting to those type of concerns with combative words and upturned middle fingers. That's what this brewery did via Facebook the other day, firing off a post that has lit up the Atlanta craft beer scene, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I think I saw this one. They're all flipping off everybody.
Flipping off the camera.
Yeah, man.
So this is their Facebook post. This is a small batch brewery. The amount of time a beer spends in a tank, sometimes due to limited human resources, variances in ingredients, and other shit like this affects the beer. We do not
Did
have...
they say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We do not have...
Our process varies, so does our beer.
Right.
Okay, fine.
We do not have hops contract this year. We are small, so we get the shittiest pick of hops. Grain does not all come from the same field. We tinker with all inputs to work to improve the beer. This is part of what makes small batch brewing and craft brewing what it is. I know there are a lot of experts out there, so to you, if you want to get schooled on this, drop by and speak to Travis or one of our other biologists. On the other hand, if you want more consistency, you can find plenty of brands that never try to improve. Wow. Brands that have the money
throw down
and access to gigantic tanks that they can blend into more to make more consistent beer. We will gladly give you some recommendations. By the way, other craft breweries have these issues: exploding cans, SRM, color variances, haze variances. Give them a break.
Those are exceptions.
Don't think this is professional. Well, that's good because I'm not a professional. Blah, blah, blah. So,
all right, they're kind of throwing it down.
They're throwing it down.
Like, suck a dick.
Well, I get it. I mean, they're a new brewery, and I'm certainly in tune to the idea of if you're making a beer for the second time, you could taste the previous batch and you could make a change, right? So I get their thing about like, let me move my beer in a better direction, so allow me to change it here and there. And I think what your next little part of this is going to be more about their inappropriate thin-skinnedness about the whole thing, right?
Yeah, well, and so when so at this point, I read this and I was like, okay, I'm thinking batch to batch inconsistencies, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I had this pale ale the other day or whatever, and it's now a different batch and it tastes different, and so why can't it be the same? Apparently, these people are talking about packaging inconsistencies within a 6-pack.
Well, then that's not good.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So here we go.
I'm
Someone writes on Facebook. They say. Well, in case of such a scofflaw statement, it's easy to see when ownership is simply shooting from the hip, as it were, and that can be problematic, at least for some of the customer base. Just look at an interaction like this one. Some guy called Trip says, fair points all around. This is in response to their Facebook post that I just read. But what do you say to the consumer who pays $12 expecting to buy 6 cans of beer that taste the same? First of all, if you're paying $12 for a 6-pack, you're an idiot. And they get
probably the going rate for a lot of really small breweries.
I don't know, man. I think that's dumb as hell. But expecting to buy 6 cans of a beer that tastes the same, and they get 3 that taste like a science project. Do you really expect us to come back to buy more after that experience?
Okay, so, and this is like a 6-pack of the same style.
Same style.
Not like it was a mixed 6-pack or something.
I'm assuming. I don't know too much.
Right?
This is what I'm guessing. Yeah. I'm sure they don't have a mixed.
That would be kind of weird if they had like a couple that were basically like completely flat, and then 2 that were way overcarbonated, and 1 that was just solid, or like 4 that were mostly clear, and then 1 that was like mud or something.
Right. I'm interested to figure it out. So then the brewery's response was, if that's what you think of our beer, then buy something else. Plenty of good beers out there. Skip ours and buy something else. And then this guy replied, got it, will do.
I think maybe were they trying to be just kind of fun and playful about it, and it was misinterpreted as being too defensive? Or
I mean, he wrote "buy something else" all in caps.
Yeah.
So I think that's their brand and their brewery attitude. Maybe it's like, if you don't like it, fuck off.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of like what we've done on the show. Well, if you don't like what we talk about, then go fuck yourself and go listen to something else.
Yeah.
But also, we're not putting out a product that you're paying for.
Yeah.
Really, we're free. And we're building a thing. We have a shtick going on. We've changed a little bit because we want to.
There's like a running story in there. Right. That's different.
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine publicly on Facebook to say those kinds of things to a customer.
I'm trying to wrap myself like when do you be that outgoing and derogatory towards the customer?
Right.
It's when you feel like you have a bunch of other customers.
Yep.
They're going to feel positively about that, like the fact that you're treating these people this way. I don't think they're going to find many people appreciative of that.
Probably not. And
even if their biggest fans are going to go like, well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of my best friends are like novices. Those guys are novices, and complaining about your whatever. Give them a break.
Well, and so what this author is saying is basically the company admits to the problems that they have. And then when a customer goes, hey, I agree with those problems, the company gets mad and tells them to fuck off.
I get that, yeah.
I think for the longest time, craft beer has had this identity where, you're part of the drinker is part of the experiment to some degree.
Well, they are. They've carried. I mean, the drinkers carried craft beer for sure.
Yes,
they take some ownership of that. They deserve it.
And the brewery embraces that also in terms of okay, if you're part of the experiment, then I'm going to experiment with things for you and see how you respond to it. And oftentimes, to couple with that, the marketing has been in your face. Maybe not as quite in your face as that, but oftentimes approaching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now is craft beer approaching a level where people don't want to be part of the experiment as much anymore, and they expect more consistency, so it's harder to have that in-your-face style marketing?
Well, in a market, you're going to find breweries that are consistent.
Yeah.
6-packs that are consistent. And you're buying some of each, and you're going like, well, there's a big difference here. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could start to expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you educate the beer consumer, you have to realize also that they're going to learn and retain some shit. And so if you talk about clarity, for example, and you have your next two releases are cloudy, well, you've taught that person what you're doing is incorrect.
No, what they're not saying is, or maybe what part of this dialogue that we don't know, maybe there are other people complaining about other quality issues, like, okay, maybe there's diacetyl in some of the beer or not in some of the beer. I don't want to accuse these guys of any technical flaws or whatever, but that could be an inconsistency that people are picking up on. If not this brewery, then a similar kind of situation, right?
That's definitely true.
If the brewery refuses to own those things when they're objective issues, then maybe that's a harder thing to take a strong stand on.
Yeah, and you know, and some of these other comments in here, basically they're saying like it seems kind of like they have real problems, but they don't know how to fix them, and so they're being defensive about it. But they did the right thing and admit, like, hey, we have some shit we're trying to figure out. We're a small brewery, for God's sakes. We don't have a lot of money to fix our shit.
I get their point about the hops. They don't have hop contracts.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Sometimes they make their IPA with these hops. Sometimes they make it with another. I get that. That's the way a lot of breweries. I've seen local breweries around here started that way. They start young and they don't have contracts.
Right.
And so they make 30 different beers in a year, and they never repeat the same beer twice because they don't have enough hops to do that.
Yeah.
So
part of the reason why that phenomenon, I think, has gained some momentum, right?
Yeah, right.
So here's another comment. This guy, Brent, he says, saying this as a very big Scofflaw fan who buys your beer all the time and frequents the brewery. This post is a bad look. It's not worth making posts like this on social media. Nothing positive comes from it.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And the reply they got from the brewing company is not true. Big guys always trying to smash small guys. Small guys always taking shit from people because they're scared to take up for themselves. Not who we are and not who we are going to be. There is a message here that will be heard. This is not a joke. This is not a playground. We are creating jobs and building families, and we aren't going to be bullied.
Well, I don't get this big guy thing at all. And the rest of that's like hyperbole. It's just a bunch of words that are just trying to like sound like it's a like a prophecy. No, I think the brewery's taking the wrong position.
Well, who's bullying them? No one,
the customer?
The customer saying, I'm paying $12 a six-pack. I want all the beers in that six-pack to relatively taste the same.
I get their position. If it's that bad, then fine. They have a complaint.
Yeah.
Now I really want to have the beer from this brewery. I want like 3 6-packs that we could have in studio and open 4 random cans and be like, okay, is this where we want it to be, or is there something going on here? So
I don't know. That's the beer news, everybody.
It's awfully tough to take that stance with the customer.
Got my blood pressure up.
Yeah, as like a customer service dude, and like as just someone kind of interested in marketing and PR, like that is not. I would never in a million, but if that's your brand image and you kind of been kind of hard-assed like that, I guess I could see that, but. You're carrying on the conversation, and that's like you're replying to individual posts. If you make one general post like, hey, eat my entire ass, like eat my whole ass, put the whole thing in your mouth and eat it, and then you never came back to respond to individual comment, that's one thing. Yeah. But I think the fact that you're coming back and telling people just to rip their own dick off,
people that probably have no reason to be engaged.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to cater to the customer's every little whim, and they kind of frustrate you from time to time, you could be like, well, if you like the beer, buy it. If you don't. And try and leave it at that. Maybe,
and then
I don't know.
They go deeper a little. It's I don't know, but hey, man, it's not my company. I don't give a shit.
Craft beer has grown so much and been so successful, despite
itself.
Almost anyone's approaches over the last 10 years. Maybe you can do that. So hey, maybe the standard rules don't apply. We'll see.
Yeah,
the growth has slowed. It's slowed a bit though. I believe. I don't know the data, but we used to be maybe in almost double-digit growth category.
I think the last
for a
one
while.
was 6.
Yeah, so now we're
6%.
Now we're at about 5-6 from what I heard. Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to take our final break of the night, everybody. We're going to come back. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the California Craft Brewers Festival in Sacramento on September 9th. If you haven't got your name in, well, it's too late, and you got to go buy your own tickets. But we'll be right back to award a lucky winner, and then we're going to get out of here. It's the session. You know what to do.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to bruise their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. At the end of the night, when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore, that's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American meat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
All right, thanks for sticking with us, everybody. With our weird sex music.
All right, yeah.
Let me see if I can remember the live reads I'm supposed to do, because, again, I don't have my stupid thing, man. But AHA, if you're not a member, join the AHA. Download the Brew Guru app, Nate.
Brew Guru, brand new one from these guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you can figure out where to use said AHA membership. You get discounts on beers and apps and all sorts of stuff from different bars and restaurants and breweries, more importantly, around the country. So check that out. They will direct you where to go. If you're going out of town for business or pleasure or whatever you want to do, maybe a little bit of both, who knows. You don't have to go on Yelp or do the thing. The app will just let the app tell you. So check it out, Brew Guru app.
AHA, always been fighting for us from the beginning, man. Good,
that's right.
Good folks.
Okay, so let's do this, Nate. Let's give away 2 tickets to the California Craft Brewers Festival. Again, that is on September 9th in Sacramento. So I made this Google
that was
document.
cool. I was there last year. It was a good time. Yeah.
See, I might have
was a
to
really
go.
good time.
Do you want to go this year?
Take the Amtrak up. It's pretty cool, man. Okay. You can go do it that way, and it's pretty chill.
Pretty chill? Yeah. All right, maybe I'll have to do that. But I put this Google Doc together, and we put it out on our social media. And, since I was doing it, and I'm a kind of an idiot, I decided to put a couple fun questions.
Yep.
Besides just your name and your email, and can you be in Sacramento on September 9th?
Got to make them think a little bit,
Yeah.
Come on.
So one of them is, do you think the fast lager method makes subpar beer?
McDowell? He's not in here right now.
Not even here right now.
This is a good time to bring that up.
Well, look, I'll be even on the one of the shows. He admitted it's not as good. But I got a lot of good, freaking duh responses.
Okay. They're calling you stupid, dude.
Right. Someone wrote, I make subpar beer. It doesn't matter what method. Yes,
hey,
JP,
you got to know where you're at, right?
Yes, JP is spot on, which I thought was pretty good. Someone responded in Morse code. So that was fun.
Dash.
But copy and paste it.
But a lot
of take a time machine with 1800s to go and decode it.
Yeah. But a lot of yeses. So I think that's pretty good. Second question I asked was, what's your favorite color? Because why not? Lots of blues and browns.
Massage.
Just going to say.
Brown.
How handsome is JP was my last question. And that was on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being mega handsome and 5 being amazingly so.
1 to 5. Wasn't that the dump scale we had from earlier?
Maybe. I don't know. I got a lot of 5s. I got a lot of 3s. More 3s.
Yeah.
So apparently,
because they didn't know what the difference was between 1 and 5.
Right. That was the point. That was the point. I wanted to see. Most people go, how do you like it from a scale of eating your own ass to winning $1 billion?
Yeah.
But I want a nuance. I want more subtle nuances. I want more dialed, more actionable, I guess. Mega to amazingly so was 3 somewhere, and that
was 3.
Feels good.
3 was the average.
3 was about the average. Yeah, got some 5s, got some 1s, got 2 1s.
You're right where you want to be.
I think I'm. Yeah, in life maybe not so much, but on a handsome scale that I created for myself.
How can you lose?
How can you lose? I agree.
Sounds like a very well thought out, scientific, unbiased questionnaire.
Brewlosophy couldn't do better. I'll tell you that right
it's much
now.
more scientific.
I think it is.
Yeah.
We're going to have those guys on September 18th. They're going to come back on the show.
But if you're going to do it Brewlosophy style, you need to have a visual representation of the data you collected.
That's true.
Do you have that?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. We'll find out from those guys when they're on the show.
I have the raw data. They're coming on September 18th. They're going to do some fun experiments. And then we're also going to have Upland Brewing in the studio as well. They are from Indiana. I believe they do sour beers. They sent us a bunch of beers after NHC. We had a couple on the show, I think, Tasty. You were here for that. They're delicious beers. Yeah, they're doing a California push. So that'll be good. So 9/18 if you're around.
Huh?
Yep.
I think I might be going.
Oh, no.
Columbus, Indiana is what the old internets are telling me. That's cool.
There we go, baby. Okay, let's get these tickets away. So the winner, and I did it a pretty good way, pretty random. As a random John. Yeah. Adrian Baez.
Adrian.
I think that's how you spell your last name.
I'll see you there.
It's a good festival, man. I had a good time last year. It was pretty cool.
PM me. We'll have a beer together.
There you go.
Yeah.
PM me. This isn't Facebook.
Whatever. PM me wherever you can find me. Okay. Go to tastemedia.com. You can sign up for all my social media.
See, there you go. His favorite color is clear.
Clear.
Or her.
Clear.
I don't know.
It's like Crystal Tasty, like Crystal Pepsi.
Apparently, I'm amazingly handsome. The fast lager method doesn't make subpar beer, only if you hop the shit out of it.
Oh, that's
And they can be in Sacramento. So I think it's great.
Great.
That is great.
There.
Fantastic.
All right, Adrian. Well, I will email you at some point with all the... I guess I got to do it soon, huh?
Email mine, too. I'm going to go. I need a ticket.
There's hell new breweries happening in Sacramento, too. Probably...
Blowing up. Well,
yeah.
We'll close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We got Rubicon. They closed, unfortunately. Was there another one, too?
I forget the name. It's one I've never heard of, but they've been open for like 20 years. And they closed the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, really? All right. Listeners, anyone going to call in and tell us?
Give us the help.
The listeners are like, nobody's listening right now live.
Fast. All right, I got to do that before I forget about that. Okay, well, I think that is it. We don't have any sort of game to do.
No Twitter game today?
No Twitter
nothing?
game, no nothing,
How is Beardy and Justin going to survive in the desert? Nothing like that? No.
I didn't even have time to figure it out. This has been a weird show. It's been a weird show, but I appreciate you guys sticking with us.
No problem.
Nate, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, Nate. Nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good to see you again. It's been a minute.
Limo next time.
I'll try to make it a more regular occurrence when I can,
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I would.
It's
it
so
would help me
comfortable
out.
in here. Like in the old days when it's 100 degrees outside, it used to be 100 degrees in the garage. Now we can come in here, it's all AC. There's like a professional bar with bartenders and clean glassware and everything.
And you're on the tap.
And you're on the tab.
We're spoiled now. This is
we kind of are, man.
BN Deluxe. Yeah.
For sure.
Pretty
what have you
sweet,
been doing, man? What have you been doing with yourself?
Yeah, making some beer when I can.
Yeah.
Pale ales. Pale ales are good. Like having pale ales to drink. You know?
Are you going to the Northern California Brewers Festival?
I'm not, unfortunately. That's always a good one, though. I'm bummed I'm going to miss it this time. NCHF you're talking about, right? The one they call NCHF, yeah. Yep.
Apparently, one of my guys on Dr. Homebrew has got banned for life from NCHF.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't know this. And he's talking to me. We wrapped up recording. He didn't really tell me.
No, he can't say. Okay. This is intriguing.
I heard some rumblings of this kind of thing already. He's with one of the San Francisco clubs or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Keith, why didn't you fucking tell me this beforehand? Why? He goes, well, because I don't want to be. It's weird, and I don't want to. And I'm like, we're talking about this on the next show. He goes, no, I don't think I can. I'm like, what do you mean you can't or can't? I'm gonna tell you about it, and you're gonna chime in. That's how it works.
He doesn't want that to be out there in the world.
I don't think he wants. It's a battle that he wants to
That's understandable.
It doesn't matter. He said it.
He doesn't want to do that.
It doesn't matter.
He shouldn't have said it. You're right.
He shouldn't have said it.
No, he shouldn't have said it.
But if you're banned for, Jesus, I need to know.
86 from a home. I mean, the home brewers are the nicest people in the whole world.
You're playing a good host, though. You got to extract that out of him. It's a good story.
It's going to be good,
right?
So
just pull it out of him.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that, John.
No, NCHF is awesome, though. I'm bummed to miss it.
Well,
but next time.
the Doze Club meets tonight. My home brew club.
Yes,
and they're all coming over here in about an hour.
They're going to be here soon.
Buy beer and have a good time.
Yep.
And they want to taste the release. They have the background on this Nate topic.
Oh.
Anyway, they have more information.
On the Nate topic.
I'm sorry, the guy who was
Keith?
Oh, not me. No, I haven't been kicked out of that one yet.
Oh, yeah, Keith.
I bought a ticket legitimately when I've been there before. I always brought beer. I tried to be good. I was completely sober the whole time I was there.
Nice.
Of course.
Well, yeah. Well, why wouldn't you be? I think everybody is.
NCHF, why not?
No one gets drunk there.
No, it doesn't happen. There's only one compound fracture for every 10 years, though. We can't have that happen again. That was the only disaster I remember hearing about. I wasn't there that year, but a guy...
Someone busted their...
Somebody broke their leg, real bad. That was quite a long time ago.
Compounds when it's sticking out of the...
Yeah, it was a medevac. They had
they had to medevac him out of there or something. Big bummer. Yeah, that's not good. That was like 2004 or 5
it's all
probably.
Like walking across the campground into ravines and not having a headlamp or some flashlight to see what's happening.
You just tumble off. You're having a great time drinking beers, hanging out with friends. The next thing you know, you fell off a cliff and you have a compound fracture.
Your bones sticking out of you.
Not a good way to end up that festival.
No,
I got a helicopter ride. Woo!
Hey, that's a good. Hey, but you'll pay out the ass for it.
Yeah, no
kidding. Be
careful
out there, people. Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will be back next week. No, not next week.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday. I will be running that weekend for some fucking reason.
5K, do it, buddy.
But we'll be back on the 11th with Cloudburst Brewing Company, and they're going to be in studio.
You should smoke while you're running, by the way. I think the families would appreciate that.
Good look.
Out there. 5K.
Should be hooting on the vape, dude. Just fucking vaping all day.
You know where Cloudburst is from?
The vape
I do not.
Oh, well.
Cloudburst?
But they're going to be in studio, so I'm looking forward to it.
Great.
in studio is always better.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
JP's an asshole. He's funny, he's balding, he's homeless and rude. The brewcasters love him and gay guys do too. JP's an asshole. Sometimes he's real funny. We laugh at his wit. The youngie just wishes he could brew worth a shit. JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does